2023 was the year that my twin sister and I became mothers. I still remember when this year started. I was in church for the crossover service. I was super excited about the new year because I knew that in this year, 2023, I was going to be starting a new phase of my life, which is motherhood. A new phase that I had never experienced before. I was really excited. I actually first found out I was pregnant November 18th of 2022.
2 lines means you're pregnant.
Yes.
Jesus.
When I found out I was pregnant, I had so many emotions going inside of me. I was excited, I was nervous, I was feeling all sort of things, right? And I knew that starting this new year, 2023, I knew that, number one, I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to have fun. I say that because having spoken to lots of people, they had told me, make sure you have so much fun because once the kids come, it changes everything. I was going to be due July of 2023, and I just wanted to have a good time in 2023, of course, prior to the baby arriving and hopefully after the baby arrives. And then again, the news of me being pregnant actually changed a few things relating to my husband and I. I say that because my husband and I are into real estate. We got into real estate investing in 2021. We secured our first real estate property, which was a multi-family 3-unit property in 2021. And prior to us finding out about my pregnancy, we were actually in the process of searching for our second property. So we wanted to get a beaten down multi-unit property and rehab the property for investment purposes. However, after I found out I was pregnant, this changed things regarding our investment plans. I say that because with a rehab involves lots of time commitment, and we knew that with the timeline we had, because I was going to be due in July, we weren't going to have enough time to complete this rehab. So instead, we decided to prioritize getting a new home for ourselves, either a single family home or a condo. And then afterwards, after the baby comes, we'll begin thinking about the rehab. All in all, we're excited about this new phase. Like I said, all sorts of mixed feelings, but I knew that 2023 had a lot in store. Yes, so in January 2023, my husband and I took a trip to Seattle. It was at least my first time in Seattle. I was so excited about going because, like I said, I really wanted to be so intentional about having a good time before my pregnancy due date. We went to the Space Needle. I mean, unfortunately, we really didn't get a chance to do as many things as we hoped to do because it was a short trip. So at least we got to go to the Space Needle. We got to reconnect with someone we knew in Seattle. So it was good. It was at least a start to us being very intentional about having fun together before the baby came. When the new year 2023 started, something else I was really looking forward to was my daddy's 70th birthday. My daddy was going to be turning 70 in February of 2023, and the family was planning a big celebration party in Nigeria. Because obviously 70 is a huge milestone. As my dad's birthday approached, his birthday is February 16th, I was really excited about the possibility of going back home to Nigeria to celebrate my awesome dad's 70th birthday. However, as the time drew nearer, it didn't seem like it was going to be possible for me to go due to some situations that arose. And this really broke my heart. I say that because we had been planning for his 70th birthday since the previous year, since 2022. And my dream was to be by his side, like actually be there to celebrate this awesome milestone with daddy. And after I ended up confirming that I wasn't going to be able to go to Nigeria for the birthday celebration, I knew that I wanted to do something to make my dad's birthday super special. So I decided to gift my dad, should I say gift my dad, but gift my dad an Ima Oh My God performance for his birthday. This is Mamora. And for people that don't know this, Imam My God is like my favorite music performer. So I got in touch with Imam My God and I basically booked him and his band to perform at my dad's 70th birthday. I knew that my parents, my dad was really going to appreciate this because my dad, or let me say my parents in general, grew to really enjoy Imam My God's music because they were at an event the previous year where Imam My God and his band, the OMG band, performed and they enjoyed every bit of it. So I remember the day after my dad's birthday, I spoke to my dad and he's so happy that we got Imam My God to perform at his birthday, that they enjoyed every bit of his music. They kept on saying, Imam My God, he's so great, he's so great. So it made me so happy that despite the fact that I was not physically present at the birthday, my dad, the family had such an amazing time. Man, I still remember this. I'm getting emotional now. March was when we did our gender reveal. It was a very intimate gender reveal. I say that because most of my friends are actually based out of town. So it was more of a Zoom gender reveal. However, my siblings, my brother and his wife hosted or planned the gender reveal. So we did it at their place and everyone else, the rest of my family, my friends were on Zoom. I was so excited about this, not because I was going to be finding out about the gender for the first time. So for some interesting, long story anyways, I found out the baby's gender by mistake earlier in the year 2023. I know some people are watching and are like, what do you mean by mistake? So I had actually gone for, one of my medical checkups or prenatal visits, and they did some tests on the baby, right? One of the things we were also going to be checking for was the baby's gender, and I had asked them to basically keep this private because I wanted to do a gender reveal. What I was hoping that they would do was to get the results of the gender and seal it in an envelope so that I could give it to my brother's wife to plan the gender reveal. However, they actually released the gender along with the other test results. So when I was checking the test results, I ended up finding out the baby's gender. So it was really painful, but I still wanted to make it a surprise, at least to Bayo and the rest of the family. So I didn't tell anyone else in the family. I didn't tell my siblings, my brother. I didn't tell my brother. I didn't tell my twin sister. I also didn't tell my husband. I told no one in the family except my brother's wife because she was going to be the one planning the gender reveal. So everyone was super excited about this. I was so excited to be, I'm beginning to get emotional. But this even made me look forward even more. Look forward to seeing my amazing baby boy. April was a huge month for us for two reasons. Number one, I had mentioned earlier on that my husband and I began looking for a second real estate investment property last year. And of course, after the news of the baby came, the news of the pregnancy, that changed the type of property we were going to be searching for. But I say April was a huge one for us because earlier in the year 2023, we had put in an offer for a condo we really liked. And in April of this year was when we actually closed on the property. So which made this condo my husband and I's second real estate investment property since we had to push the plan of doing a multi-unit rehab. So we're so excited. And I'll say I was so excited because this really gave us peace of mind that finally we'll be settling into our new home in advance of the baby coming. Like I mentioned, I was supposed to be due July of 2023. We closed in April, so I knew that this was going to be ample time for us to furnish our home and basically get settled in our new home before the baby came. And April as well, I say it was huge because in addition to us closing on our investment property, we had also planned a baby moon because I mentioned we really wanted to be intentional about having an amazing time before our handsome, amazing baby came. And this, the timing of the baby moon was just so excellent. It worked out perfectly because we closed on our property and a week after was when we were traveling, to travel for our baby moon. So it was kind of like both a baby moon and a closing celebration trip, if I should say that. For our baby moon, we went to Hawaii. This was both my husband and I's first time in Hawaii, so we were excited about this trip, and we stayed at the amazing Hilton Hawaiian Village Waikiki Beach Resort. It was such an amazing resort because, of course, the resort had beach, was a beach resort, so the beach was literally at our backyard. Our hotel, the room we stayed in, had such an amazing view of the water. I mean, soccer for water and ocean views. Besides that, there were stores in the resort, of course, a ton of restaurants. The resort also hosted events such as the luau, which is I'll say like a Hawaiian dinner festival. If that's the right way to describe it, but basically there's tons of food, music. So the hotel hosted these luau's. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So it was a great time in Hawaii because obviously we booked the luau. Our second day at the resort, we went to a tour of the entire island. So it was an all-day tour. So we got to see so many cultural things about Hawaii. We also did, because I mentioned it was a beach resort, and they also had a man-made lagoon. So my husband and I also got to try aqua cycling for the first time. I had never done that before. We also went kayaking. It was a fun experience. However, I was so scared of the water, so you can trust that I was so dramatic. And the hotel also hosted lots of cultural classes. We went to this hula dance class, or at least I went for the hula dance class, and we also went to the lei. Lei is basically the floral chain that the people in Hawaii wear. So we went to a lei making class as well. We also went for a cocktail cruise. The boats departed from the resort. So it was a great resort because we didn't even need to rent a car because everything we needed was at the resort. And the tour that we went for outside of the resort, there was a bus that came to pick us up from the hotel. So it was a great trip. The food was great. Right, it was awesome, and it was a well-deserved trip. So after we returned from our baby moon, most of May was actually spent furnishing and getting settled in our new home. It was a very busy period, and I'm pretty sure you all can relate. In addition to us furnishing our new home, we were also planning for my maternity shoot. I did my maternity shoots, I believe, around 33 weeks, when I was about 33 weeks pregnant. I did the shoots in May as well. We had to drive about an hour to the studio, but I'll say it was really worth it. I enjoyed every bit of the shoot because a lot of people don't believe me when I say this, but I usually struggle to know what to do or how to pose for pictures. But this photographer was so amazing that she literally told me and my husband how to pose for all the pictures that we took. So it was really great, and I was really counting down to seeing the finished product because I actually did find out about this photographer on Instagram. I saw her work and I'm like, this is going to be my maternity photographer.
The most honored, the most compatible US daddy and mommy in town.
June 10th was when we had our baby shower. Looking back at this, it's actually getting me emotional as well. It was an all-white affair. It was a great event, and it even made me look forward even more to meeting our son. Of course, it was a time for the family to be together again. I got to see lots of my friends from college that I hadn't seen for some time, and also got to reconnect with one of my friends from high school as well. So it was a great event. The food, of course, was amazing, and all that was on my mind was few more weeks to go, and then we're going to see our prince. Man, just seems like yesterday. I went into labor July 17, 2023. I was supposed to be due July 23rd, which was a few days before my birthday. My birthday is July 27th. I still remember that day vividly. I remember I was so busy that day. Of course, I was working, and I'm just someone that is very agile. So I was even doing some house chores and whatnot. And later that evening, I was getting dressed because my husband and I were preparing to go to the gym. I had just worn my gym clothes, and a few seconds after, there was I saw water, and like, since this was my first pregnancy, I was wondering what was going on. I'm like, did I just pee on myself? But I'm like, I doubt I peed on myself because I literally just peed a few minutes ago. And then I'm like, even if I was still pressed, this amount of water is a lot. So at this time, Bayo's mom was already with us. So I went to meet her. I'm like, Ma, I think my water has broken. Then she came and saw the pool of water on the floor. She's like, yes, your water has broken. You need to head to the hospital now. And I had just had so many things going on through my mind. I was also excited because I'm like, man, so we finally get to see our prince. My hospital bag was already packed, thank you, Lord. And then my husband and I just quickly put everything together. We went straight to the car, and the water was still leaking. Even though the pool of water had already gushed out, there was still water trickling down. And yeah, so we went to the hospital on July 17, 2023. The hospital did a test because they typically would test the water to be sure your water has actually broken. So they did a test and found out my water indeed had broken. So I was admitted into the hospital. This was around 8 p.m. of that day. I messaged my family. Bayo also was in contact with the family. At this point, I was not really feeling contractions clearly because you could see me doing my makeup because I'm like, when I give birth, I want to be looking lit. I want my son to come out saying, oh my God, my mama is fine. Yeah, but I was in labor for a long time. I mentioned I was admitted at 8 p.m. July 17th. Let's fast forward to July 18th at around 4 p.m. Even despite the fact that they had increased the dosage of Pitocin to help me dilate faster, I just wasn't really dilating. Though I had been in labor for almost 20 hours, I was still about 3 or 4 centimeters dilated. And I remember the doctors walking up to me in the hospital room telling me that it would be recommended for us to move forward with a C-section. I still remember how I felt. I'll be honest that I was really nervous. I actually really started crying because a C-section is a major surgery. Getting emotional again. I remember my husband and I praying together in the hospital, really just committing everything to God's hands. But I'm just so grateful. The procedure was, from what my husband said, it was a relatively quick procedure. I'm so grateful to God that everything went well. Of course, he said there was a lot of blood. And I still remember the doctor came towards me holding my baby, and my husband was like, this is our baby is here. I was just so grateful to God, but I wasn't still fully aware of my environment since I was just waking up from the anesthetic. But I'm just so grateful. And of course, after things wore out and I was back to my normal self, when I say back to my normal self, I basically mean I was now more conscious of my environment. I was filled with so much joy. Of course, I was in pain for about 2 weeks post-surgery, but I remember being in the hospital and looking at our baby, and I was like, so this baby came out from me. This is my baby. This is my son. I was, up till now, I'm actually still in amazement, and this is several months post-delivery. But I look back at that experience and I will say that was, whew, man, my greatest testimony in 2023. I'm so grateful to God for just seeing me through the surgical process. That was the big highlight for me in July. And of course, July 27th was my birthday. The birthday felt very different because, of course, I was still in post-labor, post-delivery, post-C-section pain. But I still knew that I wanted to make my birthday special. So my husband and I went to dinner, but we were still just overjoyed by the arrival of our prince. In August, my parents flew in from Nigeria to be with my husband and I to basically help take care of the baby. And we had to make September special. And when I say we had to make September special, September as well, my twin sister also flew into town. And This was the first time since our wedding that the entire family was together. So we knew that we had to do a family photo shoot in September of this year. We decided to do an all-black theme, and I was really overjoyed to have the family together. It always brings me so much joy. So today is the baby down, baby shower, and we're waiting for Dara and Larry. We've taken some time to set up this place, so we're so excited. Can't wait to see you both soon. April of this year was when my twin sister found out that she was pregnant as well. So in October, my husband and I decided to throw her and her husband a surprise baby shower in Texas. Surprise! And so in planning this, I had to work with our friends from college. Our friends are dope, and it was a very exciting experience. It was my first time actually visiting her since she moved to Texas. Yeah, so the baby shower was on October 28th. My husband, our baby, and I flew into Texas on October 27th. And the visit to Texas was also a surprise visit. So I still remember when my sister saw us when we because we took an Uber from the airport to her place because we didn't want her to find out we had arrived till we arrived at her place. So she was shook. She was shook. How are you feeling?
I'm beyond shook.
And she was just wondering what we were doing there. Little did she know what was in store for her. Fast forward to the day of the baby shower. It was a great event. I would say the only unfortunate thing was that I really wanted the memory to be captured by a professional videographer and photographer, which we had actually already booked for that day, but some things came up and the videographer was not able to show up on that day anymore. So this really hurt me, but I'm still glad that we're able to capture the memories at least on our phone, right? And of course, I really wanted a professional to get this done so that they could have a baby shower highlights video, so that we won't have our hands tied, because I knew that if we were the ones capturing memories for the events, it's going to be difficult to be fully into the events if you're doing both. Like, you can't be having fun and being the videographer and photographer. So I wanted an actual professional to capture that, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But I'm still glad that they were surprised, or let me say my sister was surprised. Her husband was not as surprised, since we also got him involved in the planning for the baby shower. We told him about what was going to be happening, but I'm so glad that this made them so happy. Another memory for the books. And November was another great month for me, because I have spoken so many times about Ima, oh my God, who is my favorite entertainer, and I got to meet him for the first time ever in November. I was so excited about this because I had been following him for years, I believe almost 10 years, and finally I got to see him in person, and I knew when he was going to be coming to the US, so I made sure that him and I did something together while he was around. So I had reached out to him and asked him that I would love us to do a video together where I interview him. And I'm so glad I got to do that, because I got to learn a lot about his journey. It was an opportunity for me to even interact more with him face to face. And I'll say, like, yeah, that was something big as well for me in 2023. Finally, in December, I know I've been saying a lot of months were huge for me this year, but December was also another huge month for me. December was the month that my twin sister gave birth to her handsome prince. I was so excited and so happy for her, especially because she had a very smooth labor and delivery process. Also this month, our son, our amazing prince, got to meet Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. Of course, in preparation for his first Christmas. And this was also something that was very exciting. So my husband and I, and of course our baby, went to this Latin American restaurant in Chicago called Carnival. They were doing an event called Brunch with Santa, which we attended. Of course, it was an all-you-can-eat buffet and opportunity to take pictures with Santa, which of course we did, so that we built these memories for him. I'll say, just looking back at this year, I will say I'm so grateful to God. I'm grateful to God for life. I'm grateful to God for seeing my twin sister and I through the labor, delivery process, and even through our pregnancy. I cannot take any of these things for granted. I'm also grateful to God for the opportunity to spend time with family. Like I mentioned, this year was a year where the family got to be together again since our wedding in 2021. So I'm really grateful for family as well. I'm grateful for the new addition to my family. This year, my parents gained 2 grandchildren. Woo, wow. Man, I'm so grateful. So grateful as well that I got the opportunity to meet the amazing Ima. Oh my God, so many things to be grateful for, so many things to be thankful for. I'm really grateful to God for 2023. And I hope everyone else that is watching had an amazing year as well. And if for whatever reason this year did not go as you planned, I'm grateful to God on your behalf that 2024 would even be a greater year for you all in Jesus' name. Just want to say Merry Christmas to you all and Happy New Year. Have an amazing year 2024.